Okay, so it's being live streamed.
Yay!
Yay! Welcome in. Welcome into Energy Upgrade Feng Shui Tips with Lisa. I am your Feng Shui master and quantum energy alignment practitioner, and I have with me today special guest Rachael Weaver, human design expert and extraordinaire, and one of my dear close friends. So be prepared for a really fun energy upgrade session. I'll let you share a little bit about yourself, Rachael, and I'll get myself set up and light my candle with intention or my incense.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I write copy, or work with spiritual entrepreneurs, and really use human design as a way to understand yourself better in a deeper way. And I do believe that your soul's message is encoded in your human design. So it's unpacking, how do we pull that out? How do we do it in a way that feels like us and feels really light and easy and calls in the people that are most meant to work with us? So that's, it's so much fun. I love it. I love my work.
Beautiful. So refresh everyone's memory. I know a lot of people who've been with me for a while, they're familiar with the concept of human design and they're aware I'm a projector. Can you explain to everyone who might just be joining us for the first time what exactly that is?
Yeah. So human design is a chart of how your energy works. It's given to you at birth. So your birth date and time is super important. It is not something that is like a personality test that will change. It is always the energy that you have for this lifetime. So it's going to tell you how to make decisions. It's going to tell you kind of what your dominant energy is and how it works, how it interacts with other people, how you process emotions, even your direction in life and where the challenges that you'll face, not in specifics, but in more like energetic standpoint of like, it's going to be challenging in relationships or things like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I love my human design peeps. We just had Nicole Simpson on a couple of weeks ago, and she works with human design a little bit more in relationships. But what you do is really special, and you do dabble in the relationship area, and you've supported me in that as well too. But you seem to have a great joy in that voice, like that. The throat chakra alignment and opening and expression, especially in the realm of entrepreneurship.
Yeah. And expressing yourself and just being, I feel like I struggled for so long to be, I started out as an entrepreneur trying to just be me and just express the way I wanted to express, but it was so different from what everyone else was doing that I felt like I was doing it wrong. And so changed what I was doing, and then it didn't work. And I'm like, why did it not work? This is what everyone says is supposed to work. Right. And then it was just unpacking and deconditioning to get back to the way I was originally.
Yeah, I love that. And I love your tagline, be you, babe. I can always hear, I've been working with you and friends with you for so long. I can hear your voice in the back of my head before I get up and speak about my businesses, when I'm writing my copy, really just to tune in and check in with my what I've learned from you in my unique energy. My template or imprint or how would you say it?
Blueprint. Yeah, your blueprint, your energetic blueprint is kind of what I call it. Yeah. And it's funny about that tagline is I thought it was so cheesy. And when I first came out, I was like, this is dumb. This is not going to stick. And it stuck.
Yeah, I love it though. I mean, but you say it so well. That's what makes it really great. If I say it, it's not my thing. It doesn't sound as cool as when you say it. And so I'm going to be sure to put your information at the bottom below. But if anyone is watching us live, feel free, you can comment below any questions. And if you're watching us on the replay, feel free to ask any questions, comments. We'd love to hear from you. And I will be putting Rachael's contact information and links in the description box, so you can connect with her if you're feeling that like strong pull to hang out with her like I do all the time. So yeah, I would love to do that. And what we're going to do today is we're going to jump into our energy upgrade. Rachael does these with me often, and she's really highly intuitive herself. And where do you feel your intuition comes from? or no
Well,
from
I'm a
your.
Manny Gen, so sacral, that gut, yes or no, but I also have a defined spleen. So I hear a lot of like knowing kind of things where it'll be a voice saying something and I don't know why I know it. I just know it. But those are kind of the two ways that I feel my own intuition. Yeah.
And I can see it in you too. So you're in Denver and I'm in Florida. So we've been friends virtually. We've met a few times in person,
Yep.
but I can see when you're getting that intuitive hit and you're like, I mean, you're like compelled to, like, okay, hold on, I've got
Hold on, I
it.
gotta get it out.
Yeah, you're so excited. So like Manny Gens, so you can expand on this with your expertise, and what I see in you is like this, like really, it's fun, it's playful. I want to talk about this right now. I have to thrive.
Yeah. Yeah. There is like this like excitement level. There's like, and I feel like this is something that I conditioned out of myself for a long time because I was like, I can't be too big. I can't be too excited. Waiting for the other shoe to drop sort of feelings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But now I'm like, no, like this, I love it when I can get into that energy. It's
Yeah.
so life-giving. It makes my day feel really light and easy. And it makes, everything kind of flow a little bit easier.
Yeah, it just kind of grows and expands from that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
As a projector, I really greatly appreciate that. And it's
Yeah. And I love like sharing, like giving it to other people too, right? Like I just get excited and they're like, oh, me too. And they get
I'm
excited.
also excited. So this would be really good, unique energy to bring into this session. We are going to divine of the ancient Yi Jing. So those of you who are familiar with the process, and we're going to divine of the ancient Yi Jing. What do we need to know in this energy right now for the collective so that we can move forward towards our goals with clarity and ease? And so certainly a lot of this is going to resonate with you, and I want to hear what resonates with you and those of you watching, and let me know in the comments below. This can be something related to your business, your personal life. Although we tend to attract a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, this certainly can apply to any of the life areas, whether it be your creativity, inspiration, travel, relationships, wealth. So write that goal down on your piece of paper with preferably a brand new ink pen, if you have it, and really just get into that energy, as if you're receiving this goal. And we're going to help bring the pieces together. If you can imagine like a piece of paper folding in on itself, bring those edges together where we are. And so you can start seeing the signs, synchronicities, and the patterns. So the I Ching is going to tell us about the patterns in the earthly elements in nature. And we're going to learn from that. This removes the ego. I'm using cards today for the I Ching instead of coins, just to make it a little bit faster. So while I'm pulling of these, Rachel, I'm going to let you share a little bit more about, maybe through our experience and working together, you can share a little bit of how this human design copywriting, and from that place, how it can help to attract your clients, your people, your supporters, your circle with more ease.
So, I mean, I'm looking at like the throat chakra, Mercury gates, things like that, but I'm also looking at how your energy is, what is the dominant energy in your chart, and then asking questions of how are you using that energy, right? And it's more about how are you speaking to clients? What are the words you're using? Even what are your beliefs behind sharing your message? And like projectors, I feel like struggle with this a little bit, is that they don't want to be seen. There's a level of, if I'm seen, then I'm going to be judged. I'm going to, the way I think about things isn't important. Things like that. So it's asking questions about what's your belief around sharing your message. And a lot of times that relates to your openness, the areas that are white in your chart. And how can we shift those beliefs and understand the higher expression of the open centers and open areas of your chart so that you can shift into your defined energy and express that more in a confident way and trust that that's the energy that wants to come out. I think we are so conditioned to like, this is what success looks like. This is how you get success. And there's this formula, right? The only formula is the formula that is dominant in your energy. That's how you're going to see success. If you try and do things that are not your dominant energy, and for reference, like we have all the energy of the chart and we just access it in different ways. Things that are defined in your chart are like, that's the easy energy. That's what you should be expressing from.
Yes.
Versus
Yeah, you're
open.
right. It feels
Yeah.
wrong though. It feels wrong to be imparting like wisdom and advice and experience from something that feels easy to us. And I think that's
Yeah.
where a lot of my resistance came from. I was
Yeah.
like, it's easy, feng shui is easy.
Yeah.
Advice I'm giving is easy, but when in actuality,
Yeah.
it's just easy to me.
It's just easy to you. It's your gift, right? Like I think of that same with writing and understanding these concepts of the human design. It's easy for me, but for other people, it's not. And
Oh,
so,
girl, it's not easy. When, yeah, I go to you all the time, and I've been working with you for so many years, and you would think I would have been picking up some of this through osmosis, but I'm just not. It's just something that you have.
yeah. And we all have those things that are innate within us that we pick up really easily. And it's understanding that like, that's your gift, right?
That's your thing.
That's your thing. And it's not easy for everyone else. And so communicating with that more dominant energy that's within your chart, that's the work, right? And when we can find our success from that place, that's when there's like more purpose and there's more meaning, and just your business feels lighter and easier.
Yeah, more joy,
And
more play.
yeah, you don't have to push, you don't have to hustle. Like it just gets to be, and everything flows to you, and that's how you become magnetic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I think this is going to flow really well into this I Ching reading that we are divining of from the I Ching for the collective, talking about the goals everyone has written down. So the current energy that we're experiencing right now, and I feel like this is going to be a reoccurring theme continuing from July, was the energy of being receptive
Mm-hmm.
and allowing creativity and solutions to flow through you, not to be controlled. So
Yeah.
I feel like this is going to come up a little bit in this reading. And I think we did an energy upgrade earlier in the week and received a similar combination, but the current energy is hexagram 39, temporary obstacles. It's the energy of water above and mountain below, and beautiful artwork here. Paul O'Brien cards. So shifting, so the energy is unstable. There's a lot happening on a higher template divine level. Shifting into easy progress, which is hexagram number 35, fire above and earth below.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that. Who likes easy progress, right?
Yeah,
Kind of
right.
falling into line with what we're talking about right here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to start talking a little bit about the energies that we're feeling right now in this moment and what we will be shifting into. Glad you took a sip of water, Rachel. And if everyone out there is watching, you have your beverage nearby, let's make sure we're hydrated. We're going to be connecting through a virtual means as well. While I'm divining of the I Ching, I'm going to run the emotional aura frequency calibration, your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And see what codes we crack here, and line up and support the energy. Okay, so I've already typed into the intention box here, energy upgrade feng shui tips. YouTube viewers, I could misspell it, it doesn't matter. The intention is what matters, right?
Yep.
So auto select means intuitive discernment is going to be pulled and generated. This isn't something that Rachel and I are typing in. There is a needing to access a sense of deservingness of opportunities.
There's only two, Lisa. There's only two.
There's only two. Sometimes, and Rachel's familiar with this, sometimes we fill up all the boxes.
All the boxes.
So this is at a relatively high level within our collectives. And I'm sure a lot of you watching have been doing a lot of intention setting and work and clearing throughout the month of July and shifting into the new month here.
I think
So,
these,
and other people's other criticisms of me. So, a negative needing that empowerment there.
yeah, these relate. I mean, wow, that's spot on for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm always like, someone type that in there. Who's spying on me? But intuitive discernment is really, really powerful in humans. But this software has been created by and touched only by people that are very high vibe, light workers, workers in Qigong. I made up a new modality, but all the modalities in healing arts, Chinese medicine to there's spiritual dowsing that is in here, and protocols of a lot of other practitioners, including myself. And it makes sense, that the artificial intelligence is going to learn and learn and learn the more that we're pouring in with our intention. So able to pull from the collective just through our intention. So this is going to be running in the background. So I asked for you to please be fully hydrated. And again, as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. But I'd love to hear if this also resonates with you as it does me and Rachel. We'll come back when we hear the tone. Okay. So as we talk about this energy of temporary obstacles, I like that the word temporary is in there. Nobody likes obstacles.
Yeah.
So in the course of trying to reach a goal or to fulfill an ambition, temporary obstacles will invariably present themselves. And we know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just feels irritating. Just the idea of like temporary, like what does it have to be always like some kind of irritation? But with irritation comes a lot of growth, with irritation, agitation. And we know that within working with soil. So what we're divining and what we're seeing in the change line 6 at the top of the hexagram is when a difficult situation degenerates into a real mess, only bold, forthright action can turn things around and bring success. This line points to the situation of a person facing a roadblock to moving forward while also facing an obstacle from behind. There is no way forward and no way back. That's the feeling. The circumstances are so complex that they appear to be a trap with no way out.
Interesting.
When this happens, redouble your efforts. Do your best not to worry much right now about the results. Look for help from others in positions of authority and power. When you find strong support, a breakthrough becomes probable. Have faith in your own experience and you can salvage a situation because good fortune awaits. And that dives a little bit more in. So we're going from the top and the heaven and the divine. In true emergencies, one should not wait to devise a cautious strategy or enlist the support of others. So this, a lot of times the I Ching advises us to be patient and wait, but this is calling for everyone out there receiving this message right now to impart a lot of action. There's an urgency here. So immediate action precedes strategy. Just do it. And your resolute spirit will spur others into pitching in. So there is a greater effort here too. And I think sometimes when you're needing to enlist the help of others and counsel, you're not able to get that bird's eye view and vision of the situation without their help. So ask for help. And at times like this, it is better to be 51% right in your efforts to surmount the obstacle than 100% wrong. In your choice not to deal with it. So deal with it. It's not something that we can let solve itself. And I think this is a really unique energy to be in because oftentimes it's return, it's ground, it's center, it's be patient. We're being asked to act. Big obstacles cannot be removed single-handedly. Again, another message to ask for help. To move a large boulder that is in the way, many hands make light work. Do not confront a serious obstacle until you have gathered trustworthy supporters to help you. To move forward, your support is firm, invites misfortune. To move forward before your support is firm, invites misfortune. So you need your support before enlisting your help, and having your support and the outside perspective is important before you're making this move. Have you been feeling a need to reach out to your supporters, Rachael?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I've shifted my one-to-one just a little bit and created a new sales page, and I've been having people, not people, but a couple of close people, like, please go and edit this, like, take a look at it. Is there anything missing? Like, does it make sense? And this feels like that once that's set in place and they're like, yes, this looks awesome. Then it's just like literally going, well, hey, I'm doing this. Do you know anybody? Hey, I'm doing this. Do you know anybody?
Yeah. Yeah. That feels really good in relation
Yeah.
to business too. And like looking
Yeah.
to your trusted counsel to weigh in and adding in those like missing pieces and being able to screen, because we get so caught up into our processes and our experiences that maybe we're not fully translating.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's so true in messaging, is like, I obviously I do it for my clients,
Yeah.
but I also need people to look at my stuff. I am a terrible editor for a writer. I'm a terrible editor, spell things wrong all the time. I need other people to take their perspective and their understanding of what I'm offering, right? And making sure that all of it is clear, all of it answers their questions. It's like there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's also in relation to, they know you, they work with you, they know what's in your wheelhouse. They know like if you're not clearly communicating what you're good at.
Yeah, totally.
Because you just might even be taking it for granted. All right. Let me
Totally.
share what has resulted before we dive in a little bit deeper here, and share a screen. All right. So what resulted from our emotional or frequency calibration is a words of wisdom. And a goal is a dream
Deadline.
with a deadline.
I thought you weren't supposed to put deadlines on the universe.
Yeah. So what does this make you think? Like, exactly. We're all about like non-attachment, and a goal is a dream with a deadline. So is it like a dream
like if you're not making the dream a goal, then it's just a dream. It doesn't actually come to fruition. Versus making it a goal. Now it's like, yes, this is when I want it to happen. I don't know.
I read it because I'm a dreamer. I read it as like, and it's going to mean something different, by the way, to anyone who reads. And it's for us to internalize. If you can write it down in cursive, all the better for it. You can screenshot it. But writing down in cursive is going to allow these words and the energy contained in the words to integrate with your levels of consciousness and awareness in a deep way to help you resolve this energy that we were trying to harmonize in our auras. That last little bit. So if you remember, we were trying to access a sense of deservingness of opportunities. So we deserve the opportunities. So a goal is a dream with a deadline. I felt like a resistance to goals almost, and like a more loving feel towards dreaming, because I don't like deadlines.
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't know. The deadline was like, ooh.
Icky. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want a deadline so maybe like, and I talk about goals all the time, visions, and intention setting. And I think for me, it's talking more about like the visionary, like the dreaming aspect of being like a real important ingredient when you're trying to move forward. Like the dream without borders kind of concept.
Yeah. Well, and even deadline and deservingness, if you're not it will remain a dream until you feel that you deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I wrote this down in cursive for me. It's already resonating with me on some level, certainly as a teacher and a guide. And as I'm talking about helping people achieve their best selves through this awareness, and it probably applies to me too, but I think this can apply to work. It can apply to anything, any aspect of your life. So I'm going to write it down 9 times. 9 being a heavenly auspicious number, and one that energetically can help us close loops. Okay. So that's homework for everybody to contemplate. I wouldn't be surprised if the I Ching reinforces a lot of this concept.
Mm-hmm.
So the energy of easy progress right around the corner. So the energy of temporary obstacles is unstable. And we already know that whatever our vision or goal or dream is, that we need to bring in other perspectives at this time, people that we know that know us very well, to impart some of their wisdom and their bird's eye view of the situation at hand, because we might not see it when we're feeling like we're caged in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and it's going to be like the walls are coming down soon for easy progress. The situation is one of easy natural progress. What has been weak is ascending, and by gaining a prominent position will become more powerful. One image here is the light of the rising sun, which at first appears dimly through the mist, but this same light will radiate with powerful clarity once the sun has reached its highest position in the sky. And it's easier to rise up more with the confidence of your what you're looking to attain when you have that affirmation from your best supporters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to launch that idea. I'm ready to have that conversation. I'm ready to make that step in the next direction. And so it says goodness in human nature. So like the goodness of human nature, what makes us kind and compassionate is like the dim but beautiful early morning light. However, just as the morning light can be swallowed by the fog, greed, hatred, and other forms of self-absorption can obscure this goodness. And I know this has come up, this hexagram's come up a lot lately.
Yeah.
Be reminded that progress is achieved most effortlessly when right action is taken, without concern for immediate reward, and when the path of the weaker aligns with that which is strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember this coming up recently. I think this is like significant energy for the time that we're in. This reading, it's this divination, it can apply for any time in when you find this recording or live, but we're shifting into a new month. And it feels like this consecutively, if I go back a couple energy upgrades, has been reappearing, a big call to collaborate, to have mentors, to find your guides, like your trusted people. This isn't the time to share your dreams or goals with someone who doesn't understand where you're coming from. And so against my usual guidance of being patient and waiting to act and building up your energy, like act now and then fill in the gaps later, but make sure that you have your trusted counsel around you.
Yeah. Trusted people is so important. Like, I don't share what I'm working on, but only with the people that I trust that will support me in getting to that goal, right? Like they play a role in some way of supporting me. And it is a very intuitive thing too. Like, I have lots of people, but maybe only one or two get the privilege of really going in, like, this is what I'm working on. And, and they can offer the right perspective that I'm looking for, right? Like, it's very intuitive. And I feel like that has been a process over like 10 years of building that network of people and trusting that like the right people will find me and I can lean on those people.
Just like when you were talking about learning to really sit in and project your energy and your type in a way that's healthy. Do you think that alternatively, once you learn that about yourself, it might also keep away the negative?
I think it does. I do think it does. I feel like I don't attract crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Although I still feel like in the online world, like my audience is still very tiny. There isn't, and the bigger, it's like going into a city. Like, we live in the country, we live in a town of 10,000 people. The likelihood of a crazy person is pretty small. Like, if there's 1% of the population that's crazy, it'll be hard to find that one person, right? But if you go to the city where there's 1 million people, there's a higher chance of potentially running into that crazy person because you're in a smaller area and more concentrated to people. And I think that's that same concept of like, the more that I can be me, it like creates a smaller environment So less likely for those people to come in. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also makes me feel like in a sprawl, like where you live, you know, in the beautiful wooded area, like, and versus where I live closer to several cities. At that point, you're like, it's almost like, am I am I the outlier in this in this community? But yeah, I think when tested in a city situation too, and you have your energy right, I almost feel like the negative people, or the people that aren't your match, they almost don't even see you.
Yeah.
When you've got it right.
Kind of like bounce right off.
Yeah. They're like, were you even there? Yes. Yeah. And they might even be like, I don't even want to be around you. So it doesn't even get into your experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Whereas in your case, in the sprawl that you live in, you just happened to move to a new home, you know, less than a year ago.
It's like a year ago right now. We moved in like a year ago. I need to go look at the date. It's like the end of July.
Yeah.
We moved in like July 28th last year.
Yeah. And but even in this like sprawl, like wooded area, you still were able to like attract in people that were like you're like your neighbor.
Like our neighbor that just moved in last year too. She does human design business coaching.
That's wild. Like
super just wildly aligned people. It's been fascinating to watch, and it's in some ways it's like, yeah, of course that's who would move in next door. But at the same time, like, I know how magical that is. Like my husband was in like, oh, clearly we moved here for you.
Yeah. So I think that's like what we're talking about is really important in being able to recognize your tribe, the people that you can share right now, because there's an urgency, like there are indications. So to know if it's safe for you to share, to ask for help, to ask for honest input about who, especially when it's personal, like if you need guidance in that area, to be able to recognize. And it's helpful if you're in alignment, like the alignment practice we're doing today, and that you can do and share with human design, and being able to have that discernment and filter out quickly, and also attract and repel more effortlessly.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's trusting that you'll know the right person to talk to, but it's also a belief too, that your circumstances don't have to mean something negative, right? Like you can overcome whatever circumstances you're in. And it just takes a person to shift your perspective, to give you guidance, that kind of thing, and trusting that you'll know that person when you see them, or that you'll be guided to them.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to share too, while we're wrapping things up, we're going to give everyone a supercharge to sustain until the next time we get together and do another check-in and energy upgrade. Yep. Okay. So we are going to actually charge us as individuals with some frequencies based on the energies that we need to help fill in and complete our goals based on what we learned from the I Ching. So we're going to be charging. And I always recommend that we each develop our own process of clearing, whether that's something that you do with sage or Palo Santo, or movement, or journaling, and purging out everything in your head. But frequently, especially when we're at a time like this, to do the clearing work as well.
Yeah.
But here we're going to be installing energy imprints. I'll start with abundance. And I feel like discernment came up a few times. Discernment, to be able to recognize your tribe and people that you can trust. And I'll let you add, Rachel, if you feel called to anything.
I feel like, I mean, it's collaboration too, in my mind, of finding those people to collaborate with.
Yeah, the many hands makes moving that boulder easier.
Yeah, exactly. And receiving too. I think we have to be open to receiving that help. I think we're so very conditioned to be independent and not to receive help.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage to be able to ask for help.
Yes. I like that.
Especially when it's something that you've been holding so dear to your like heart as a goal in business or relationships, travel, whatever it is, but to be able to have the courage to ask for that help at this time is going to be really important. You need to act now. So I think urgency, maybe urgency is not the right word.
I think allowing
Is beautiful. Thank you. I love it. You're so good with words. I like how you can translate for me too. When I've got, especially my projector energy, like all the things to say, and you're like, but there's one word for the 50 that you just said.
Let's not be quite so wordy, Lisa.
Yeah. Narrow it down, please. Yeah, so these are temporary obstacles, everybody, and we're shifting into easy progress. So let's really enjoy that joy.
Joy, yeah.
And wonder and awe. Like, remember all of those reasons why you created this dream. Yeah, with a deadline.
The deadline.
Why did I create it? Because it was going to be so joyful, and but keep that energy, that like higher vibe energy of joy and wonder and awe and love for this.
In the journey to the goal, right? Like there's no point in the joy at the end of the whole thing was like trudging through mud. Like
joy in the journey.
Yeah.
Right, when you get to your like, the closure of it, you feel the, close the gap. You're like, oh, I'm just too tired. That was exhausting.
Like that was exhausting.
I'm not even going to celebrate. I'm just going to like lie on the side of the pool and spit out some water. So I also feel like a need for staying nourishing, taking care of your health, holistic health and wellness.
Yeah.
So whether that means that you take some time to meditate today, fully hydrate, do your own practice, your yoga practice, sleep, take a nap, get out in the sun and ground, really just allow yourself to be nourished so you can be full of energy when you get to your destination.
Yeah.
Anything else am I leaving out of this?
No, I feel like that's good.
Yes. So I'm going to start running this, and this is going to carry us through for approximately 2 weeks. And this is something, again, make sure you're fully hydrated as you receive this energy live or even on the replay. And it will be a different experience for everyone. So pay attention to the signs, the synchronicities, and what I mean by that. And this has been a common topic too lately. A lot of people have been like, well, I don't really believe in signs. I don't really believe in synchronicity. That's just coincidence.
Yep.
And I understand that. And I'm really big into science too. I'm big into the research, but when you see something once, you can say, oh, that's a fun coincidence. When you see something twice, you're like, what are the chances? Like, I might tell a friend about this. That's funny that I saw this twice, but 3 times come on.
And I think the argument I've heard is that, if you think about a white car, or you're like, I want a white car. No, wait, take it back. Fast or rewind. If you buy a white car, then you suddenly start seeing everybody that has a white car, right? Or I think of it like we named our child, we hadn't ever heard of anyone named that before. And suddenly we meet other people with that name, right?
Yeah.
And it's the science behind it is that like what you focus on is what you'll see, right? That the science of that. And so therefore it's not actual spirituality at all. It's just science. And I find that argument fascinating because it's like, who cares if it's science or spirituality,
right?
If you're still getting what you want, if you focus on what you want, then it'll eventually show up in your reality. Like, who cares if you do it out of faith and trust in the universe, or if you do it out of the science of what I focus on is what I get. Like, it doesn't really matter if you get there from the science perspective or the spirituality perspective. Whatever works for you, whatever helps you understand and get out of your own way, then fabulous.
Yeah, it is like listening to areas and levels of our consciousness and our awareness that we might not be paying attention to otherwise, and it can show up in your
Yeah.
space in significant ways. I
Yeah.
feel that one thing that can help support us in this energy in a fun way would be to activate and nourish our children in creativity areas within
Mm.
our living environments. Or
Yeah.
it could be within your office space, or I'll
Yeah.
pull up an example here. So this is a great area to activate if you're trying to um, come up. Well, we're talking a lot about quite literally childlike play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So having that childlike play and joy and wonder and awe as we are on our journey is really, really important.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just showing you one of my clients' floor plans right now, or rather their survey. So this is a Bagua energy map that I created, a transparency, and I'm going to apply it to the wall that contains her front door. So you see here, there are areas that extend off of her house. This is her front porch, but I'm going to use the wall that is the main entrance into her main living area. And so there are extended energies appropriately in her creativity and children area. Really good for, in particular, this client's a painter. Really great to have an extension of energy there and spend a lot of time there. So if you can think about where is the property, where is the section in your house, if you divide it up like this tic-tac-toe board, where is this area in your house? Or you can even apply it to where it is in your office by the door that goes into your office. And work on that right side, that center area. And we're going to be making sure and evaluating that this area contains a lot of metal. So it can be metal objects, it can be actual, the actual metal, it can be anything that's white in this area, in this energetic area. It also works with pastels, that playful energy, like the color of a bubble in the sun that you see. So light and airy and fun, that type of energy. Make sure that there's no clutter in this area during this time. So if you've got a pile of mail that needs to be addressed, or a bunch of kids' toys in a closet, like I have, or make sure that you address this. Make sure, if you can't address the entire pile of whatever it is, make sure you at least move it around and get the energy flowing. Make sure the energy can circulate freely throughout this space, wherever it may be. And if you don't see a good significance and representation of metal, add something in with intention. Add something in with intention, and you can use a mantra. You can think about your, if you want to use an I am statement, as if you've already received your goal, you can say that, you can repeat that. So a mantra or affirmation I want you to use as you're placing something with intention to activate and call in and to support you with the energy of creativity and childlike wonder, joy. And that way we're being supported by our environment. So as we're talking about looking within our environment for synchronicities, we can also create environments that are energetically supporting us in a deep way. So a lot of people talk about, they find me first, they go to Marie Diamond, and then somehow I come up in Google and they're like, oh, the whole idea of law of attraction. And she talks a lot about your home is your vision board. So it's that reinforcement, it's that affirmation, but I dare to say it even helps you to create space in an area. It helps you to activate and stir up and agitate energy in an area that's aligned with an energy within your life. And so if you already have metal there and you want to add in and activate a little bit more, you can add in earth. So something of earth, something that's square, something that is of the earth. It could be a crystal. It could be something earth tone color. Add into that space, because that will create more metal without having to add in more metal.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So that's another little bit of homework to sustain everybody in this energy. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. I've got my people. I know you said you have your people.
I have my people.
I hope everyone watching, I hope that you have your people. And if you don't, we could be your people.
Yeah, we could totally be your people.
We like people. You can connect with us. Rachael has a Facebook group. And your Facebook group is called
The Aligned Copy Posse.
The Aligned Copy Posse, and I've been in it for many years and I love it. That's a really inspiring place to hang out. You can also find us within High Vibe Entrepreneurial Women. If you are female, and I will drop the links so you can connect with Rachael. And if you're interested in learning more about how you can work with her like I do,
Yeah.
you can connect up with her there. So if you like this energy, if you like her manifesting generator energy, I encourage you to do so because it can be life changing and very transformative to delve in a little bit more into learning about who you are by your energy type.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Any last words that we missed out on today, Rachael?
No, this is always so fun. I love it.
So much fun. I hope that we can do this again. And well, I'll see you again soon, Rachael. Like I'll talk to you in a few minutes probably, but everybody, thank you so much for coming to the energy upgrade in this week. We look forward to hearing your thoughts, your comments, receiving your love. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel to show your support, please. And I thank you each for being here. Many blessings times 9, and I will see you very soon.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
I can